My name is Colin. This is the real story on how I went from $50,000 in debt, struggling with drugs and alcohol, to generating over $13 million online in the last 5 years. I tried drop shipping, I tried real estate, I tried doing an ATM business, I had a photography business and a clothing company. So 5 different failures. I think entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but if you don't like what you're doing 5 days a week, then it's your job to change it. The problem is with this society is no one's gonna come and save you. If you don't know what your brand is, just document your journey and your journey will become your brand. You should be posting 5 to 20 videos every day. The only people that talk shit about you are people projecting their own insecurities onto you because they know what you're doing is probably what they should be doing as well. I accumulated about 40 Bitcoin. This was around the time when Bitcoin was like 5 to 10K. So I became a multi-millionaire.
You don't think that we are going to see a crash in stocks or crypto?
Every single empire has failed before us. There's never been one currency that's survived in human history. It's not going to happen this time. We're at the end times. Use the fake money that they print to buy the assets that are real. The things they can't make more of, you need to buy with the money that they can make more of.
Hola a todos y bienvenidos a este nuevo podcast. Hoy os traigo algo distinto. Hoy vamos a grabar con un emprendedor de aquí de Miami, americano. Vamos a hablar de muchísimas cosas. Él no habla español, entonces lo vamos a hacer en inglés, así que espero que me entendáis y que no haya ningún problema. Y de verdad que es algo que vale la pena. Vamos a poner subtítulos, vamos a intentar que sea lo más sencillo posible, pero va a ser una locura. How are you, Colin?
Very good. Mi habla inglés. But no, everything's great, man. I'm super pumped to be your first English guest.
Yeah, I think that it's nice to try to record with the Spanish community, with the English community, and to keep pushing together.
For sure, we got to bridge the gap, you know?
Yes. So, and here in Miami, it's easier because you're with a lot of Spanish people. So we are in the place to do it.
100%.
So if someone don't know you, because I'm sure that some people that follow me even see something about you in Instagram or in YouTube. What do you do for a living?
Yeah, so I am an Instagrammer, I guess you could say. I've built multiple businesses through Instagram, and Instagram has been my main channel for the past 4.5 years. So in 2019, I quit my job. I was working a corporate job selling payroll. It's called ADP. And I was just doing something I hated for a really long time, like about a year. And one day I just decided that I wanted to create a life that I was proud of. I wanted to be someone that I could look in the mirror and actually be happy with. And up until that point, I was miserable. I was doing a lot of drugs and alcohol, just living for the weekends, kind of just wasting my life away. And so I turned to Instagram because I saw all of these awesome creators out there like Ed Milet, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, all of these huge people that inspired me. And I was like, you know what, if they could do it, I could do it too. And so I just started to document everything. And I learned a quote from Gary Vaynerchuk in a book called Crush It. He says, if you don't know what your brand is, just document your journey and your journey will become your brand. And I took that to heart and I literally just ran with it. So I just started documenting everything. I showed people that I was in 50K in debt. I showed people, when I was working out, what muscle groups I was working out, why I was doing that, what I was eating, me waking up early in the morning, my morning routine was. And from literally 50K in debt all the way up into where I'm at now, I posted every single day on Instagram, every single day without missing a beat, stories, posts, just checking in with people and providing value on a daily basis. And basically the story goes, I was 50K in debt. Through the 4 different business models I tried. So I tried drop shipping, I tried real estate, I tried doing an ATM business, I had a photography business and a clothing company. So 5 different failures, and that got me into that 50K of debt. And through that debt, I actually found my solution in my first business, which was credit. We were talking about that before, but in America, we have this credit system that is fantastic. Like if you understand the credit system in America, you get to basically borrow money at 0%. They give you free points. They give you ways that you can upgrade your hotel status. You could fly for free on first class. I mean, it's the benefits are incredible. So I tapped into that. I started learning about it and I was like, wow, I really want this. But the problem is my credit is horrible because I just ruined it. So I locked myself in, and literally through YouTube, buying courses, hiring a few mentors, I was able to figure out the credit game and repair my credit, get my credit score back to a 730, which in America is like your report card for credit. So now I had almost like an A+ on credit, and I was able to apply for 7 credit cards. I got approved for all of them. I got $30,000 at 0% interest for a year, and I just documented all of it. And all of a sudden, everyone was like, dude, how did you do that? Can I pay you for that? How can I get on a one-on-one call? Do you have a course? And I let my audience tell me what they wanted, and then I created it. And that's how my first business was born. So I created Credit Class in 2019 on Black Friday. And Credit Class was basically a private Instagram page that taught people how to leverage credit, build income, and travel for free. And on that one day, I dropped that course. I made $6,000 in profit. I took that money, I invested it right back into the business, building a better website, a course. I started traveling full time. And in January of 2020, I moved to Bali. I met my now fiance on the first day I was there. It was her last day. And my life changed forever. I started traveling the world, scaled that credit business to hundreds of people, and then got into e-commerce and a bunch of different affiliate marketing things, found Bitcoin at around $5,000, put all my money into that. And then quickly I became a millionaire.
You did a lot of things, and something that I think that it's crazy that you documented all the journey.
Yes.
So that's why I think that people follow you, because they really see all your journey and they see that what you're saying it's true because they see it. And something that I feel is that here in America, if you have a great job, you can make a lot of money, but you didn't wanted that. You always prefer to bring your own business. Do you think it's because of your family? They are maybe businessmen, because of the culture, or because only of seeing other people do it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was told my whole life that the corporate life was the way to go. My dad was in corporate. My mom was in corporate. My uncle's in corporate. There's no entrepreneurs in my family. So that's all I knew. And I thought that the best way to go was to become a banker or an investment banker, go to Wall Street, New York. And I tried that my junior year in college. I got an internship at a bank in Manhattan, and it was miserable. I had to commute an hour there. I sat in a back little corner office all day. I barely saw the sunlight. And then I commuted an hour home, and I got home when it was dark out. And I did that all summer. And so I hated that. So the next best thing was to try to do sales, which was what my dad was in his whole life. And my dad always had, the benefit of being able to travel and take his family on vacations, because he got to do the credit card thing where basically he put all of his company spend on the credit card, which gave him the points. And then we got to go on vacations to Hawaii, Punta Cana, whatever. And so that was like my next best thing. I was like, okay, I'll just do what my dad did. And at least I'll be able to make $100,000 a year. I can take my family on a few vacations a year, and, it's better than nothing. So I got a sales job, and within like 3 weeks, I realized that this was going to be a big problem. Like, I was miserable, and I was sold the corporate lie of get a good job, get a 401k, which is a retirement fund, and then retire. And, when you're 65, and you'll live happily ever after. And it just wasn't true. I really do believe that there's so many people out there that are not fit out to work for someone else. And once you discover that, you have to move, and you have to make your own path, and you have to, do what other people are going to, make fun of you for, basically. Like my coworkers, no one supported me in that. Everyone thought I was making the wrong decisions. So, I think entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but if you don't like what you're doing 5 days a week, then it's your job to change it. The problem is with this society is no one's going to come and save you. You have to do everything yourself. No one's going to come in your ear and say, hey man, you should quit your job. You should do this, this, and this, and you're going to be really good at this, so try it. It's like, no, like life is just an open canvas, and you have to paint your own painting and create your own world. And that's really what I did. So you have to be okay with failing. And that's what I found out real quick. Like, you got to be able to fall in front of people, especially when you're documenting on Instagram, because everyone's watching you. And you just have to realize that no one successful is ever going to take their time to talk down on someone trying to become successful. The only people that talk shit about you are people projecting their own insecurities onto you because they know what you're doing is probably what they should be doing as well. And so I figured that out real quick. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather fail a million times, at least trying to become happy, than sit miserable and accept my defeat at a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. And so when the pain was greater, when the pain of staying the same was greater than the pain of me just trying to change, that is when I changed.
I'm feeling that right now there are more and more people that they are starting to document in Instagram.
Yep.
I remember the book of Gary Vee about document your journey.
Yeah,
But
crush it.
Yes.
Yep.
But right now you have like big influencers that they are saying the same and more people are doing the same. But almost in Spain, I'm seeing like there are people that documenting their journey, but they do nothing. Like they go to gym, okay, they go to work, and they read books, but they do nothing. I think that it's good to document, but you have to not only document, you have to do something. If you do like the same shit, but recording videos, it's the same.
You have to give value.
Yes.
Like they're not giving enough value.
Yes, and I'm seeing two people that they are like in a normal situation and they record video like you have to wake up at that hour, you have to go to gym, but they did nothing in their life and they like trying to explain people how to live, but they did nothing. I think that the way that they create content, it's not the best way. Which one do you think that it's the good way to document and that it works?
Yeah. So, I mean, I teach a personal brand blueprint to all my followers, so I coach people on this full time. So part of my blueprint literally tells you how to document your stories, how to post your reels, how to do Instagram lives, and how to convert your audience into clients. And the number one thing that I say is you have to work for free for your followers. I work for free every day. I show up, I put in all my effort into value that can actually change your life just by following me. And so once you change your followers' lives for free, then subconsciously they feel like they owe you something. So if every single day I'm going to show up and I'm going to give value on biohacking, on what I'm eating, on how to actually work out instead of just showing my pump, like what am I doing in the gym to make me feel good? What is my mindset practices? How am I doing my morning routine? And how has that shaped and molded my life into this amazing life I live today? I just give that out for free. And then once they trust me, they know me and like me enough, that is when they're going to ask about my Bitcoin mining, my crypto mastermind, or maybe they want to build a personal brand and do what I do. They're like, yo, Colin, can you show me how to do this? So I let them always come to me. And every business I've ever started has always been my followers telling me what they need. And then I create it. People do it the wrong way, right? People do what you just said. They just start like documenting stuff. They don't have any success. They didn't build a business. They're trying to sell a product on something they've never even done or a problem they've never even solved for themselves. So what you want to do is you want to solve massive problems in your own life, and then you build a business around what that problem is. The other best thing you could do is you could showcase people that you've helped in your business. Instead of just talking about your transformation, show someone else, because odds are they're going to relate way more to Susie than they are to you with 3 million YouTube subs, right? If you could show your client that you just helped from 0 to 10,000, now Bob feels way more relatable to Charles that you just helped go from nothing, where Bob is right now, to 10,000, instead of flying all over the world, driving nice cars and having 3 million subs. People don't relate to that. So whenever I make my content, I always talk about where I came from, right? I could broadcast this house, my Lamborghini all day. People, find that too aggressive. They don't relate to that. They kind of feel like that's show offish, right? But if I say, guys, this is a picture of me 5 years ago, blacked out in a nightclub, passed out on a table, and this is the shitty car I was driving, and here's all the drugs I was taking every day, and I had no relationships, and now I'm here driving a Lambo. Now they're like, oh my gosh, that's how I am right now. If Colin was able to get to where he's at in just 5 years, maybe I should listen to him. So that's how you structure your content. You have to talk about transformation. You always have to have them in mind. And even better, make content for your younger self. Whenever I speak to the camera, I think of 23-year-old Colin just quitting his job. What would he want to hear? Right? And I speak exactly to my younger self. I'm like, what would little Colin need to hear right now to make his journey a little bit easier? and I'll give it to them.
Yes, I think that one of the keys that you tell is transformation.
Yep.
People want that, and to feel that they can be that person. If they think about the young Colin, maybe there are a lot of people that are similar of you in the same situation.
Yep.
So they feel like the same, so they are going to follow you and maybe buy something. But if you only speak about what you're doing right now, there are less people in your situation right now, so they don't going to connect.
Correct. Yeah, you always have to be relatable. That's why every single time I do like hey guys, ask me a question, I don't just say that. I say, hey guys, this is me $50,000 in debt in 2019. And this is me today, married to my beautiful fiance, owning my dream businesses. Ask me about the journey. Now they're like, oh shit, I'm 20K in debt right now. I trust this guy now, right? Mm-hmm. So always drop down to their level first before you talk about the big goals, the big business, the big dreams.
Let's speak about all your business, because you told me that you have some business.
Yeah.
Can you explain to the audience?
Yeah, so I own 4 businesses right now. I have 2 information products. So info products are really the best way to start a business online because there's no cost to them, right? You build a course, you have a community chat, you do live calls once a week, and that's an info product. It's the easiest business to start. So I have 2 of them. The first one we just spoke about, which is my personal brand coaching. If you want to start a personal brand and you don't want to go the route of running ads on Facebook and spending a bunch of money on marketing.
Organic.
100% organic. I don't teach any paid ad strategies. So all I teach you to do is how to make content on Instagram, how to go viral with the easiest way to go viral, which is short form content. So I show you how to make really good hooks, viral hooks, great value, great call to action, and then how to convert those people once you get them to your page, right? Because Instagram is tricky. You have to have really good stories, which is basically feeding your followers value every day, but you have to get new followers to your page, which is short form content or posting pictures. So I teach you how to do both. And then I teach you how to have a constant running video sales letter. You know, when you go to a website and they have that video that's like 20 minutes explaining their program. Well, I don't do that because I have a constant VSL running 24/7 on my Instagram stories. So you follow me from a viral reel, you get on my page, and then I'm running a VSL every single day, showing my routine, showing the clients I've helped, talking about mindset in my car, driving to the gym, right? And I'm just slowly but surely converting that audience and getting them to sign up with me. So that's my personal brand coaching. I basically help you reverse engineer how I've made over $13 million with Instagram organically over the past 4.5 years. And yeah, I coach over 220 clients right now. I opened that in October. So we're on about a year of that business. The next business I have is another info product. I'm a co-founder and it's called Bull Market Blueprint. So this is my crypto mastermind. We currently service 180 people right now, and it's helping people navigate the bull market who are busy professionals. So like yourself, right? You run a YouTube channel. You don't want to take 10 hours out of your day to learn how to trade and, learn crypto and macro economy and what the Federal Reserve is doing. You just want to put 100 grand into crypto and sell it in a year and get in the right coins and the right projects and know when to sell. That's basically what we do. So you leave it to the professionals. I have 2 partners, Leo and Luke. We have an algorithm that we created that basically monitors funding data, so derivatives on Bitcoin. And through derivatives, you're able to see when people are over leveraged, under leveraged, and usually that over leverage event is what turns the market. So if there's a massive deleveraging, you'll usually see the market shoot up or shooting down, and we monitor that with futures data.
So that's only for people that they already have a business, they are making some money.
50K
and they want
is the minimum that we would say to join Bull Market Blueprint. Yeah, like we have people all the time say, Colin, I have $1,000 ready to invest. You should invest in yourself, right? Invest that money into you. If you don't have $50,000 saved and you don't already have a cash flowing business, you're not already doing well, then I would stay away from crypto. It's way too risky.
I agree.
Focus on you, invest that money into you, build your personal brand first, build a cash flowing business, learn some skill sets, become valuable. Then once you've done that, you can come back next bull market. There's a bull market every 4 years. All the people that are saying, this is the last time, it never happens like that. Every election cycle, there will be a new bull market. So don't worry, you're not too late. So that's that business. That's a multi-7-figure business that I run with my partner, Luke. Then we have my Bitcoin mining company. So another crypto business. This is a physical business. And once again, I started this Bitcoin mining company through a massive problem that I encountered myself. I solved that problem for myself. And then my followers told me they were interested in solving that problem for them. So I built a company around it. So in 2021, I was buying massive amounts of Bitcoin. With all my income that came in, I was buying Bitcoin with it. So I had no write-offs. So in 2022, I got my 2021 tax bill for $500,000. So I had to wire the IRS $500K, and I was sick to my stomach, and I called my accountant and I was like, dude, I never want to do this again. How can I keep accumulating Bitcoin but pay way less in taxes next time? He's like, well, look, there's Section 179, which is a tax code in the United States, which allows you to write off Bitcoin mining machines, any equipment. You could buy a big car over 6,000 pounds and you can write off the entire thing. That's why people are buying Rolls-Royce Cullinans for 500 grand, getting a $500,000 write-off.
Let's explain to the audience because maybe they don't understand. The thing is that you pay taxes in your profit.
Yeah.
So when you have profit, you make money. But if you spend some of the money in a car, in a rent, in a Bitcoin machine, it's an expense. So you don't pay taxes because you're not making that money.
Correct.
But you have an asset that is worth it.
Correct. So you can, a lot of the times, you have to write off your income, right? Let's say I made $1 million and I have 1 month left before the year ends. My job right now is to spend as much of that money on the things that are going to make me more money in the long run, like real estate. You get massive tax write-offs for that. A Rolls-Royce Cullinan, as long as you can market it, you have a personal brand, maybe that's a good write-off. Bitcoin miners are good. All kinds of real estate you can do. So we want to basically spend that money, but on things that are going to write off our income and then also be able to pay us over time. So I didn't want to buy real estate. I already had a car. I didn't want to do any of that. So my accountant told me, he's like, in the US, you can use the tax code to write off mining machines. And so I bought a lot of miners towards the end of the year. And I, of course, have a personal brand. So I'm showcasing me building my mining setup. Me and my partner built out this massive facility. We were doing immersion cooling, which is this cool technique where you submerge the Bitcoin miners in this dielectric fluid. So like the miner's actually running under fluid and it cools the machines down. So everyone's like, dude, what is going on? What is all of this stuff?
Where is located?
So I have a location in Kentucky right now. Okay. So we're actually partnered with Blockware. You can look them up. They're a massive mining company. So we're like the sister company of them. We leverage their facility and their expertise and all of their network to get the best machines. And we basically just run right in their facilities in Kentucky.
Nice.
We didn't start there though. We started in New Jersey and then we upgraded to them. So as we grew, I started mining more and more for myself and everyone kept asking me, Colin, can I mine with you? And because I just broadcasted it and showcased it on Instagram, that turned into a business. I solved the problem for me. Everyone else has the same problem. They're like, yo, I don't want to pay all this taxes. I want Bitcoin as well. And I'm just like, okay, well, maybe I can make this a business. So, because I was now able to leverage other people's money, I was able to order a lot more miners in bulk. And I was able to save money, therefore, being able to make a profit by mining with clients. So yeah, we started that business up and, we have over 80 clients right now and it's Q4. So if you need a write-off, this is your chance.
Do you feel that at the end of the years, like American people spend more money in all the things?
So much more money, dude. The holidays, Black Friday, Christmas time, all the holidays plus tax season. So cars flying off the shelves, especially in a presidential election, the global liquidity is going up right now, which means central banks around the world are making easy money policy. So they're like putting more money into the system. Therefore, the markets go up more. People are selling stocks, buying other things. So for businesses like us, we're going to do better. For people that have e-commerce companies, which is the last company I'll talk about, they do better as well. So then number 4, last one is called Division 1 Health. So as some of you guys might know, if you follow me, I've been on the animal-based diet for like 3 years now. So all I eat is red meat, raw dairy, honey, and fruit. And it has changed my life. It's helped my insulin levels regulate. I used to have pre-diabetes. I reversed that. I was hyperglycemic. I reversed that. So it's the diet for me. And within that diet, one of the things that is recommended is organ meats. So eating heart, kidney, liver, spleen. and you can actually eat these raw. So I was like ordering all these raw organs, and my Noemi would be making fun of me. I'd be chopping up organ meats and like dipping it in syrup and honey to eat them because they're disgusting.
But you ate it raw?
Yeah. I have some in the fridge. We can try it after. And so I was eating them raw for about a year. And then I found out about these desiccated supplements. So basically they take them and they freeze dry them, and then they chop them up in this fine powder. And so then you just put them in pills, and you don't have to chop up raw liver and stuff anymore, but you still get all the amazing nutrients. It's like the best multivitamin in the world, the most bioavailable, and it's not, made in a lab. There's no toxic chemicals. It's non-GMO. It's gluten-free. It's grass-fed. And so I started buying these supplements, and I started taking them, and I started, of course, posting them on my stories. Everyone's like, bro, where do you buy them? And I'm making this other company loads of money. And I started doing research into it, and I realized like where they're getting their cows is not the best. I realized that, Argentina is where the best pastures are. That's like, everyone knows Argentina has the best steaks. And so I was like, screw it, I'm going to just make my own. So I gathered my two friends in e-commerce. One of my buddies does $3 million a month right now selling a mushroom gummy. And I was like, yo, Evan, can you help me out? Can you give me your manufacturer? Who can I go to for ads? How can I get this website built? And I invested about 80 grand building my own beef organ company. So now we have multivitamins. I'll give you a pack. Division One Health. And yeah, it's just the only multivitamin you need, really. It's going to give you all you need for the best performance, best libido, energy in the gym. I feel way better, and it's amazing. So yeah, we started that about a month ago. And you can buy it anywhere online.
So nice, a lot of things.
Yeah.
And which company are making you more money?
So I would say revenue or profit, because my info products make the most. Yeah, profit. I would say right now my two info products are probably like neck and neck, making about the same. They're both making $1 million plus. Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know if you can share, but more or less, how much money are you making a month?
Per month, it varies between about 100 to 300 a month.
Okay.
Yep.
Amazing.
Between all my companies, yeah.
And let's speak about crypto.
Yeah.
Because most of the money that you make, you invest in a lot of stuff, but crypto is important for you.
Yeah.
And you made a lot of money in crypto too.
Yeah, I have a Bitcoin tatted on my ankle right here.
Really?
Yeah. See?
Sure.
So in 2020, as I said, I started making my first money online. And, with that money, I wanted to invest it because I knew like all the richest people, they invest in an asset class with enough size and enough conviction to actually get rich. And so I was like, okay, I have $50,000 right now. I'm not going to turn this into $1 million just by my businesses in the next year, maybe over the next 5 years, but I want to get rich quick. Like I want to get rich this year. And the pandemic happened. As you know, stocks crashed, the markets crashed. And I'm sitting here with 25K to 50K, coming in from my businesses every single month. And I was like, shit, like this is the perfect time to invest because Bitcoin had crashed to under $5,000. And so I started investing into Bitcoin, and through, putting a majority of my money into Bitcoin, the more that grew, the more I wanted to learn about it. So your conviction will go up the more money you put in. And so I was buying books like The Bitcoin Standard, Bitcoin Billionaire, with the Winklevoss twins. Those are two really good books. If you've never gotten to Bitcoin, I recommend The Bitcoin Standard. You should check that out. And over time, I just started to learn more and more. And I decided that any money that was going to come in, that was going to sit in my bank account, instead of just being in cash, I would put it in Bitcoin. And so this was around the time when Bitcoin was like 5 to 10K. And I accumulated about 40 Bitcoin during that time. And from that point on, what happened in 2020, 2021, same thing that's about to happen right now. The election came through, Bitcoin smashed all-time high in November of 2020. And then, by March of 2021, we hit $64,000, or I think April. Yeah. So I became a multimillionaire, being 50K in debt at 23 years old. 24 years old, I'm sitting in Dubai looking at my phone, and it's at $2 million. And I'm just like, how is this even possible? Mm-hmm. Like it actually was that quick, but it also went down just as quick, and I didn't sell anything. Mm-hmm. So now I've created this bull market blueprint to help people navigate the cycle, the bull cycle. And there's a reason it's called a cycle, because it goes up and then it goes down, right? So if you hold crypto assets, it's extremely risky. Bitcoin drops on average 70% from the top to the bottom. Okay. So if you have $1 million, you're literally watching that go down to 300K, right? So it's not fun. So Bull Market Blueprint helps investors, busy professionals like yourself, get in the top crypto assets, because there's 10,000 of them now, right? There's so many cryptos that it's too hard to figure out. So we've just created a mastermind where basically you can get in, 8 coins. We help you manage their portfolio, and then we get you out of them so you don't have to experience the downtrend. So I would say for anyone watching this, the number one coin you have to understand going into this bull market is Bitcoin, because everything moves based off of Bitcoin's movement. Bitcoin was the first ever Bitcoin. If there was no Bitcoin created, there'd be no such thing as blockchain. You hear all these guys talking about blockchain this, blockchain that, Web3. Bitcoin was the original blockchain. It created everything you see today. So without it, there would be no crypto. So you have to respect Bitcoin, understand Bitcoin, because money flows into Bitcoin first. It pumps. People then get bored, and then they go to the next cryptos. And that's when you see Bitcoin dominance drop off. Whenever Bitcoin dominance drops, that means money's flowing out of Bitcoin into altcoins. Altcoin just means alternative to Bitcoin. So Ethereum's an altcoin. Solana's an altcoin. You also hear the term thrown around called shitcoin, right? Anything that's not Bitcoin technically is a shitcoin. And I know people hate to hear that, but in all honesty, none of these cryptos really do anything. It's all just narratives. Right? Like, yeah, you can build anything you want on Ethereum. You can build AI platforms. You can build utility coins. Meme coins are massive. But at the end of the day, it's just a place for this printed fake money to go into when it's being printed at a rapid rate. Because when they print money, it needs to find a home. And when they print massive amounts of money, they don't want to put it in real estate. Real estate's always there. It's always safe. People always need a home. When they're printing massive amounts of money and inflation's going hot, you put that money in the riskiest assets possible, which is crypto. So that is why when they drop interest rates in an easy money environment, when money is cheap, like at 0% interest, like how we had in 2020, 2021, all of that cheap money finds its home in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. You see these coins going up 10, 20, 30x, and people literally make life-changing wealth that would have otherwise taken them 10, 20 years in 1 year. And that's about to happen right now. So yeah, I can answer any questions and give some tips.
Yes. So you think that right now we are near the elections in the US, and then the bull run is going to start. But
Correct.
Right now we have the interest rates that they are going low.
Yep.
So you think that that's going to be a great combo for the bull run too?
Yes. So what we have right now is we're at the end of quarter 3. Okay. So quarter 3 ends end of September, and then October 1st, Q4 starts. Typically Q4 and Q1 are the most bullish quarters in all of crypto and stocks. So we have that on our side. Then we also have money getting cheaper, which is extremely bullish, right? Interest rates have been at all-time highs for the past, 30, 40, 50 years. Interest rates haven't been this high. They've been extremely low, historically low at 0%. During the 2008 crisis, they dropped them, and we've been in this 0% interest policy for a very long time. So they're going to start to drop. We have our next interest cuts next week, actually. Wednesday is the Federal Reserve meeting. So you'll start to see money get cheaper. And now why people go into crypto is because right now, investors, they have free money at 4.5% or 5% in bonds, right? So when the interest rate on the Federal Reserve interest rate is at 5%, you can now just take all your money. Let's say you're a billionaire. You put $1 billion in a bond at 5% interest.
And
that's free money every year, just free. Okay. When the Fed starts to lower the interest rates, that also lowers the rate on your interest that you can earn. So now instead of having that free interest and earning that yield, you have to go out on the risk curve to find more yield. So they take their money out of bonds. Where does that money go now? It needs a new home, stocks, crypto. So that's going to happen. Plus you have the election, right? So what typically happens in election cycles is the current party, the Democrats and Biden, they want to get reelected. Right, so they're not going to tank the markets come October, November, December, when everyone's ready for the holidays, they need money to be sloshing around. They need everyone to feel rich and happy to re-vote them in. So that's on our side. And then finally, you have the global liquidity index, which is money printing from the banks all around the world. You have the ECB, you have the Bank of Japan, you have the Federal Reserve. All of them are printing money. So in the past 2 years, you've seen quantitative tightening. So they basically printed a bunch of money during COVID, right? 2020, 2021, massive amounts of stimulus. They were helicoptering money into your bank account. Literally, you're getting $1,200 stimulus checks. Everyone's throwing that money out. And then what happened? Poor people couldn't eat food anymore because inflation got way too high. All that money went out into the world and increased prices on everything. Housing, rent, food, vacations, way too high. Poor people, they don't own assets, so they didn't get rich. So the Federal Reserve's like, oh shit, we went too hard. We got to suck that money out of the system like a vacuum. So they suck it all away for the next 2 years. That's what we've been feeling. 2022, all cryptos, all stocks went down. Why? Because they took the money back.
But how they did it?
They sold all of their assets. So the Federal Reserve buys assets. They literally buy bonds. They buy stocks. They buy everything to pump the markets. And then when they're like, oh shit, inflation's too high, we got to take it all back. So they sell it all. So that's when you see everything drop. What's happening now is exactly what started to happen in 2020 and 2021. They're doing it all again. But guess what? They have to print even more this time. Because if they don't print more money, they basically have, they paid $1 trillion in debt on their interest debt this past year, the most ever spent. And so they need to remonetize their debt. They have to refinance all of their debt at a lower interest rate because remember, they're paying their debt on that 5%. So they're going to drop the interest rates and refi it. And then they have to print the money to pay it off. So all that money, if you own assets and you're watching this and you simply just go out and buy Bitcoin right now, you get to benefit from the Federal Reserve printing all the money and the big Ponzi scheme. You get to win too. So as long as you own assets, you will win with all of the rich people.
So you don't think that we are going to see a crash in stocks or crypto?
When they cut rates?
Like in the following months?
So I think we have the next 17 days for them to do any funny business. I think we have the end of September. Maybe we see one more flash crash over the next 2-3 weeks. And then October, I really, truly believe it's up only. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I do believe, though, the same thing's going to happen again where inflation is going to go too hot. We just got it down to almost 2%. That was our target. But as soon as they start printing all the money again, it's going to go right back up. And we're going to be in an inflationary era for the next 10, 20 years until this whole system collapses and basically gets restarted on hopefully Bitcoin, because that's the only thing that's truly scarce and is fair. It's a 21 million supply of Bitcoin, where what's the total supply of the money supply for the US?
Yes, it's infinite.
Unlimited, right?
Yeah.
So that we can't do that. There's never been a currency in the world. The Roman Empire failed. Every single empire has failed before us. There's never been one currency that's survived in human history. It's not going to happen this time.
Yes.
We're at the end times.
So you really think that we are at the end times, like Ray Dalio did a video about that? So the way to protect is to understand how it works, try to follow the trend and make more dollars that you can, but then allocate in other assets. It's
to use the fake money that they print to buy the assets that are real. So you just need to take their fake money and buy real shit. Real estate, you can own that. Bitcoin, you own that forever. There's only 21 million of them. They're not making more of them. They can't print them. You own that. Cold storage, that's outside of the financial system altogether. Yes. Cryptos, it's great for increasing your dollar purchasing power, right?
But not for holding.
Exactly, not for long term. Bitcoin, you want to hold that shit forever. Never sell Bitcoin.
So
right?
You're never going to sell your Bitcoin?
I am, but I'm saying
with an strategy
because I understand cycles, right?
Okay.
So before I understood cycles, if I was just a business guy and I, saved money in my bank account and I realized that money every single year is getting eaten away by inflation, so I can buy less and less and less things with that money, then I would just protect myself by buying Bitcoin instead, because no one has ever lost money holding Bitcoin for 4 years. No one. It always goes up, right? For the past 14 years, we have a pretty good history of it now. So I would recommend, if you're not trying to sit here and be like the investor guy, or if you don't want to take the time to invest in something like my crypto mastermind, where we just basically do everything for you, you need to just buy Bitcoin and forget about it. and you'll be saved from inflation, from all the stuff I told you about. Bitcoin is your life raft out of it, right? You could buy scarce real estate, anything that's scarce that they're not making more of. For example, Miami Beach real estate. They can't make more of it. We're on the water here. There's boats, yachts. We're 5 minutes from the beach. It's beautiful. That's why these houses, I just got in this house. It was priced at 3.5 million. Now it's at 4. It's been 1 year, 500K, right? So the things they can't make more of, you need to buy with the money that they can make more of. You get what I'm saying? And don't use your own money. If you're in the US, the reason why I taught credit for so long is because you could literally get a credit card with 0% interest for 12 months, right? And they give up to 100 grand. You take that 100 grand, you buy Bitcoin right before the bull market, which is literally right now, and then you just sell it all a year later, pay back the banks, and then you're good. You just use the bank's money, the fake money, to buy real stuff. And then you hold the real stuff forever.
Yes.
And that's how you build wealth.
Yes, and the money in 1 year, it's going to worth less.
Less and less and less.
What do you think about stocks? Do you think it's a real asset?
Yeah, I like stocks. You're owning a piece of a company, right? So if I buy $1,000 worth of NVIDIA right now and I hold that for 20 years, I own that exact amount of shares 10 years later, 20 years later. My preference, though, is crypto. I just think there's a lot more upside in it. It's a brand new market. Stocks have been around for 100 plus years.
But maybe if the US dollar is going to debt in, we don't know when, but in some years, do you think that stocks are going to keep the value?
It's tricky, right? Because if the entire system collapses, I'm sure they could reset it. And, any ownership that you have that's digital, maybe it'll just go away, right? I don't know. I know with Bitcoin that can't happen.
Yes.
Because with Bitcoin, it's outside of their system. They have no control over it. There's 21 million of them. As long as there's one miner mining Bitcoin and there's a node running somewhere in the world, Bitcoin stays open for everyone and anyone can participate no matter where you live. So for me, I am going to buy my Bitcoin back. It's not like when I sell it, I'm never buying it again. My goal is to just buy it in the bear market when it drops 70%. Right. So I'm increasing my US dollar purchasing power with all these other cryptos, the alternative coins that go up more money. You sell them at an opportunistic time when retail's getting in and they think the fund's just getting started. You use them as the exit liquidity. You hold on for about a year. And then in 2026, you buy it all back for 70% cheaper. So that's my goal. And that Bitcoin that I buy, I will tuck away forever. Right. I wanted to play a cycle as an investor instead of just a holder. And I think that's smart. If you have the resources and you have the technology and you have the people in your corner that are professional enough to understand, liquidity cycles and when to sell and when to buy, I think it's definitely smart and you can make a lot more money.
And what do you think about holding gold, like physical gold?
I think it's smart. Gold's at an all-time high right now. There's people that a lot of gold holders, they don't like Bitcoin, right? It's usually the boomers, the older people. They want something they can feel, right? Bitcoin, they're like, where is it? You can't touch it, right? So at least with gold and real estate, you can put, tons of bars of gold that you can hold and touch and put it in a vault and open it up 30 years later, it's sitting right there. Gold's fine. It's just not going to appreciate nearly as much as Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to appreciate way more than gold. It's like a leverage bet on gold. So if you like gold, then you could buy Bitcoin and it'll do 3, 4, 5x better, right? And same with Bitcoin mining companies. That's like a leverage bet on Bitcoin. If you like Bitcoin's performance and you think Bitcoin's going to have another bull market, a tip is you can buy the leverage bet of Bitcoin, which is a Bitcoin mining company stock. Okay, so like Mara, Riot, those are two of them. Go look at the price chart on Mara and Riot. In the Bitcoin bull market, Bitcoin went up 5x last time. Mara, Riot, they went up 20x, right? But it's just super volatile. You got to get in, get out, right? Because those are coming down. If Bitcoin goes down 70%, those stocks are going down 97%.
Yes. Yeah, because it's easier for people buying that stock than the crypto itself. And maybe because of taxes they buy and stuff. So it's more volatile.
It's also just way riskier. Mining is a very risky business, right? Miners, the pricing is different. The energy costs are factored in. There's a lot of variables moving with it. That's why investors don't really like it. So if you're taking a massive risk, you're going to get a massive reward in that space.
Yes, we went in Dubai to a farm, mining farm.
Oh yeah.
And they were making 15 Bitcoins a month.
Wow.
So huge one.
That's good.
Was nice.
That's
and
nice.
Colin, I'm sure you know, but in the Spanish market, and I think all the markets in the world, we always see what the American market does. Do you feel that a benchmark when you create your content? Do you know that a lot of people from all the world are looking at you and maybe replicating in their market?
That's a good question. I honestly, it's probably sad that I don't like have this, but I only know English. So, you know, I don't get to really see the impact that I'm making in other markets with different languages. I need to learn Spanish. My fiance is Spanish as well, so it's not good. But yeah, I mean, I personally do follow some people from other countries, and it helps to get ideas for them. But once again, like if they aren't speaking anything but English, I don't understand it. So yeah, I think, you know, Spanish people are watching, but you know, if they don't know English, then they're not going to be able to interpret what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes. Yeah, but I think that in all the world, people speak a little bit of English.
That's
so
true.
They can
I got
maybe
lucky with
understand.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very cool. I mean, the internet opened up, you know, opportunity for everyone, no matter where you're at. So you could be in some small town in Africa. As long as you have Wi-Fi and a phone, you could go follow me on Instagram and learn all the things I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Even stuff with like credit. Like there is a possibility that you can get to America one day, and because you learned about my content about 0% interest credit and you marry someone from America, you now have the opportunity to go apply for a card and build up your credit and start investing with that fake money. Mm-hmm. So like, it's crazy. You know, even my girl now, she came here, we're married now. And so she got her green card. She got a social. I just built her whole credit file, and she just got her first business credit card at 0% interest. She was born in Spain, in a small town in Spain. Now she has American credit. So like, it is very possible to achieve those things.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy that you always say that it's a Ponzi scheme, the money, and that's really true. Like in Spain, we have the pensiones, that it's like the government pays you when you stop working when you're old.
Yeah.
So it's the same system. Like it's fake money that it's the way that it works. It's not worth it for the country, but they keep doing because they cannot stop doing it because it's going to be crazy.
We have that too.
You have that too.
Yeah, we have Social Security. It's called. Mm-hmm. So I pay taxes for those people, the old people now getting Social Security. I'm giving money for it, but by the time I'm old enough, Social Security won't be a thing anymore. They can't pay it out. Mm-hmm. There's too many of us on Social Security. It's a Ponzi scheme. Mm-hmm. So the people that benefited are the older people now that created it when they were my age. Mm-hmm. So everything, that's the problem, man. It's like, you think when you're a little kid, you're shielded from all this stuff. You think the world like works in your favor. You think governments have your back. You think that, you know, everything is all good, but it's not. Like everything is a lie that we're told, and no one's going to save you. No one's going to tell you anything. You got to go and learn all this stuff yourself. Most likely your parents don't even know this stuff. My parents didn't know this stuff. My parents didn't know how to save hundreds of thousands in taxes. They didn't know credit card 0%. They didn't know a lot of the stuff, entrepreneurship as a whole. So you really got to take everything in your own hands. Like, you know, go get it done for you and your family, because no one else is going to help you.
Yeah. Can you share with us some of the bad moments that you had in all your journey?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot.
Which one was like the biggest impact in you?
Yeah, so I've had like 3 major traumatic events that I usually bring up in my content. The first one was just being 50 grand in debt. That was really scary. And, you know, that was probably the least crazy one, because I did it to myself. You know, that wasn't something that was like, you know, out of my control. I did all that. It was like self-demolition. So, you know, overcoming that was pretty awesome to know that, like, holy crap, I was in 50K in debt. I quit my job in that situation. I was able to get myself out of all of it by learning the system too. Because remember, I told you, I used credit repair to wipe away 20K of it. Like I never paid it off, but it got off my file because I proved that it was inconsistent in the filing. So if in America, if they can't prove some debt is yours with the artifacts and the actual, factual information, then they must remove it by law. So I was able to, figure out the game and get that removed. So that was one of the traumatic events that I solved that ended up becoming a business. The other thing that happened was when I was in college, I came home from the summer and I got assaulted at a party. I was like just turned around. I was talking to a girl on a bench that I really liked. And next second I was just on the floor and I woke up and there was like a whole group of people surrounding me and they held me into my feet and they gave me an ice pack. And I looked in the mirror, my face was like drooped down to here. Like the whole every bone, every muscle was just broken. Mm-hmm. And so I was in the hospital for a week and on painkillers. And that was like really life threatening. Like if he would have hit my temple, I would have died. And the doctor told me that. And that was, I was real young. I was like 19. And to like watch your life flash in front of your eyes, like, and have zero control over it. Like that just happened. And I was just randomly picked. But later on, I figured out that was like God's plan for me because we ended up suing the guy who did that to us to try to get some money for it. And that ended up taking like 7 years to get paid for that. And I kept in my head, every time I would start a business or take a risk, I would always think to myself, oh, I'm okay though. Like I can do this because I'm going to get that money eventually. So even if I fuck up, even if I fail, I'm going to get paid. It
was
anyway.
Like
it was God dangling a carrot over my head to just get me to take risk and try to go and do, everything that he wanted me to do. And I never got the money until 7 years later when I already made millions myself. Remember that tax bill I told you I was going to have to pay? So it was a $500K tax bill. I was going to have to sell my Bitcoin to pay the tax bill. And my attorney called me after 7 years and he's like, hey, Colin, we got paid. I'm sending you 500 grand. And I got that money and I sent it right to the IRS. But at least I didn't have to sell my Bitcoin. So it was just crazy. Like, to have something so traumatic happen in that moment, to just be blaming the world, like, why me? This is ridiculous. Like, I can't believe, I'm in this situation, just playing that victim game. That actually saved my life. That one moment, that one thing that happened. And now I know that it was all meant to be. So that was massive. And then the final thing that happened that made me hit rock bottom 4 years later was I was at my corporate job. I was struggling bad with drugs and alcohol. I was going out 3 nights a week, getting very drunk, just, with all the wrong people. And I was out at a nightclub in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I got drugged. Some random dude that, I guess wanted to kidnap me or whatever, drugged me at the bar, gave me roofies in my drink. And I woke up the next day in this weird apartment somewhere I had no idea where it was. And I woke up, I had like my shirt ripped, my shoe was missing, and I was just in shock. I couldn't believe like anything. My head was hurting. I had a lump on my head that was real big, really bad headache. And I ran out of there and I called a cab, got home. And right when I got home, I got a call from a police officer. And they were like, hey, Colin, we have a warrant out for your arrest from this taxi driver last night. The guy who kidnapped me to his house, he didn't even pay for the taxi. He gave them my ID and he was like, I don't have any money. Like this guy needs to pay. And so basically I had now a warrant out for my arrest. I just got kidnapped. I don't know what happened that night. And I checked my bank account to pay the taxi driver so they wouldn't arrest me. And I'm negative $200.
Oh my God.
And so that was my rock bottom. I completely broke down and I was just a complete mess. Like I was like, how could I have been brought up in such a loving family? I went to college. I did what I was told. I have everything that my parents sacrificed everything for me. And this is what I'm doing to my life. Like this is so embarrassing. Like I felt just so disgusted with myself. And I realized in that moment when I was looking in the mirror, I was just like, this is it. Like, this is the decision I need to make right here. If I decide to keep doing those things, I'm going to die, or I'm just going to live a pathetic life and God's just going to give up on me. But I knew that in that moment, if I did take the other decision, I could change everything because I was never going to let myself get lower than that moment right there. So in that moment, I called my rock bottom. I was like, I will never get lower than this time right now. And I even got this tattoo, 23 right here. And basically that reminds me every day that I'll never go back to who that person was. I reinvented myself at 23 years old. And I stopped drinking completely, stopped hanging out with all those people. I bought a bookshelf from Goodwill for like $5 and I filled it up with books and spent every waking moment just bettering myself. And, within 24 months, I was a multimillionaire. So it's
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah.
Can you share with us like your habits, your routine, because you did a super big change, like drinking, drugs, party, to right now that you're like super disciplined, yes, biohacking. Can you share what do you do?
Yeah, for sure. So the most simple thing that I did when I got started in that moment was I just started spending more time alone. I had never spent time alone before that. I always wanted to be with people so I didn't have to think and I didn't have to confront myself and all my problems. So just waking up early, like 5 a.m. I started waking up at 5 a.m. every day. And I would spend that first 20 minutes meditating, praying, and journaling out my thoughts and writing down my goals and how I wanted my life to look. And I literally started to just shape my life from that little hour every morning. I was able to control all of my actions to better my life and create a life of my own design. And so I would write down my goals on a whiteboard. I would journal, just brain dump every single morning, how I was feeling, what I wanted life to look like, how I wanted it to look in a year from now, what I was willing to sacrifice to get there. And, I just started building a relationship with myself. And so if you want me to break it down today, like what I do is I wake up, I drink water, I hydrate with LMNT salts.
You wake up at 5?
Now I wake up whenever I want. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still early, 5, 6 a.m. I just don't set an alarm. I think that's something awesome as an entrepreneur. Like I make my own hours, right? I don't work when I don't want to work. So I just let my body get the sleep it needs. And I wake up feeling incredible every single day. Some mornings I wake up at 4 a.m. because I'm excited and I got a lot going on in my mind and I just get to work. But I have that freedom to be able to do that. So
yeah, that's amazing, because when you wake up with an alarm, it depends of the moment of your sleep. You're going to wake up like good or super bad.
Yeah, exactly. And it spikes, all the stress levels as well. So it's not good for you.
And do you wake up like with the sunlight? You sleep or
no,
you sleep
my
in the
room's
dark?
completely blacked out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's really good for sleep. Keeping your room super cold. I have a chiller under my mattress that actually cools my bed. So I sleep at, you guys use Celsius, but I sleep at like 67 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes.
And so it's very cold and my room's freezing. I have an eye mask on. I use the mouth tape. So I breathe out my nose. I look like a freak in my bed, but it works for me. And my sleep scores are like 100%, so wake up in the morning. First thing you got to do is hydrate because your body's dehydrated after sleeping 8 hours. And you need potassium, magnesium, and sodium. And I use LMNT, which is just a supplement salt brand. I hydrate, I open up my journal, and I have 4 different sections in my journal. The first section is my power list. So it's 5 things I need to take action on for that day that's going to get me closer to my goals. So I write down those 5 things. And usually number 1 is the most important of the day. And it's like, what's going to make me the most money, which is usually always making some kind of content, right? Then I write the 4 agreements on the bottom. That's a book. I don't know if you ever heard of that book.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good book. So I write the 4 agreements. Then I write on the upper right-hand corner, I write 10 things I'm grateful for.
The 4 agreements, what are exactly?
I'm impeccable with my word. I do not take things personally. I do not assume things. And I will always do my best.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just a good reminder.
You write it every day.
I just write it every day.
Okay.
And I live by that. Then I write 10 things I'm grateful for, right? So whatever I'm feeling in the moment, that's bringing me gratitude. And then I write a love letter to God. And that used to be a love letter to money. But in the past year, I built a really good relationship with God. I started going to church. I read the Bible every single day. And so usually in that moment, I'll read Proverbs in the Bible and I'll just restructure the Proverbs and I'll try to meditate on them and I'll pray over them and I'll put them into action by writing them in a letter. And then I'll use those Proverbs throughout the day to actually put into use, like in conversation with friends. If you ever want wisdom, like the Bible has the most wisdom I've ever seen. A lot of personal help and development books are all restructured from the Bible and the first philosophers, like, Marcus Aurelius. So Yeah, just read the original text. All the other stuff's regurgitated over time. So I do that journaling. That takes me about 10 minutes. Then I go straight into my biohacking room. I actually have a biohacking room in my house. And this is where I have my red light, my PMF mat, which is like a pulse electromagnetic frequency mat, which is grounding, right? So I'm grounding in the morning instead of going outside. Sometimes I'll go outside, but a lot of the time it rains here. So if that's happening, I just lay on that mat and that alkalizes me, alkalizes my blood. Okay. So while I'm laying on that, getting alkalized, I do breath work. Wim Hof breath work,
Yes.
3 rounds of 30, or I just do like 10, 20, 30. And then I meditate for 10 minutes in front of my red light. And and then I say a prayer. And that's pretty much it. All in all, I know it sounds like a lot. It takes me only 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 minutes to do my journaling. It takes me 7 minutes to do breath work, 10 minutes of meditation.
Okay.
So
and you're ready for the day.
Oh, feels so good. And if I don't do it, which is very, very rare, and I usually do it later in the day, my mind is all over the place. Like, this is my prescription to myself to keep myself sane and keep myself grounded and on purpose. Because if I just skip it every day and I start doing my social media, dude, things start to get to me, right? I'm able to control all my emotions. I'm able to, instead of react, respond to things. I take the time to think things through. I ask questions. I go to my circle of influence, my mom, my dad, my girl, my business friends. I ask them questions about the things I'm going through. If I didn't do that, I would just be like, and I'd respond to things, right? So it is absolutely life-changing, and you don't need to copy me. You could do whatever you want, right? But if you take maybe 1 or 2 things from that and try it out in your routine, maybe it'll benefit you. But I'm under the camp of like, there is no right one answer, right? Maybe you're the type of person that just needs to go on a walk or do 20 push-ups and you're good. But do something for yourself when you wake up. Don't give all your energy to the outside world right away. Give it to yourself, right? Build that relationship with you, and then you're going to be in a much better position, full of gratitude, full of abundance, and you're going to be able to gift that to the world.
Yes, the thing is not to start the day speaking with people or in the social media or looking reels.
Yep.
Like, spend some time with you.
Correct.
Be chill and then start the day.
We have a rule in my house, and Noemi breaks that rule often. She likes to look at her TikTok right in the morning, and I always tell her, like, no phones in our room. Our room is a sacred place. Like, I don't even go in there unless I'm sleeping. I don't like to spend any time in my bedroom. A lot of people have their office in their bedroom. That's horrible for your energy. And, you're crossing your peacefulness with your work. It's just not a good combination. And I know, like, when I was starting out, of course, I don't have a freaking office. I don't have money for that. So as you get money, you start to construct your life and build it up so that it's easy to do all these things, right? I have a cold plunge and a sauna in my backyard because I know the benefits that brings and the peace that brings into my life. So as you get money, instead of buying all the watches and all that stuff, buy this stuff first. It'll help you make way more money.
Yes, I totally agree. And if you work at home, it's more important than if you go to an office. And for working, how do you do it? Do you have like, you do deep work, you work every day? How do you manage?
I have 0 work schedule. So I don't put any like time block on my calendar. Maybe some people will advise against that. But for me, I get the most creative when I'm able to structure my day however I want. So like, if I don't want to work that day and I just want to go to the beach, I can go to the beach. I usually only have 2 meetings a day for my personal brand coaching. That's the only business that I actually have to do something for. All my other businesses are automated. They have teams, they have operation managers behind them.
So you have 2 calls every day.
If people bought for that week, I only have 2 allotted times for maximum per day. So it's from 11 to 1. I would be teaching my personal brand students. That's new students coming in. Okay. So that's from 11 to 1. And otherwise, I go to the gym at 7 a.m. every single morning. And when I'm home with that, I usually make content. So content is my job, right? And I like to make content whenever and wherever I want, because the honest truth is, if you're making time for content and you're separating yourself from your content instead of integrating it, you're compartmentalizing. You're literally like trying to make it so hard on yourself. You're like, oh, I need to schedule and time block to sit down and make a whole thing. It's like, dude, Just whip out your phone, get on TikTok and make a video at the gym. It's that easy. So I just film everything all the time. I am the content. I don't make the content. So that's why I keep my day so open so I can be creative and flow. Because I make all my money just by marketing and making content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and X.
Yes. If you stay all the day at home and work in your office all the day, the content it's going to be shit.
I don't even go in my office. Don't even use it. Literally, I work right in the kitchen right here because there's way more light, and I work right in my backyard, just walking around talking to the camera. I and like when I travel, I actually make more money when I travel because my ideas are flowing way more, and it's just a switch of scenery. It's more motivating. So that's why I always like, if you have a big house or you have a nice workspace, switch it up. Work outside, work inside, work in your office. Like that will get the juices flowing in your mind. You're not going to get all stagnant and bored. You want to be excited, you know?
Yes. Let's speak about traveling because you just say that you make more money when you travel. You told me that you travel 3 months a year. What's traveling for you?
Traveling really changed my life. It let me know what else is out there, what's possible. As I told you, I moved to Bali in 2020, right when I started to make money. I wanted to get the hell out of Arizona. I wanted to get the hell away from my coworkers, to the people I went to college with. I wanted to completely restart my life. And so I went to the furthest place on the map and I moved to Canggu, Bali, got a villa there with my buddy. And it was unbelievable. It was so much fun. I mean, if you just start making money and you're in your early 20s, go. Just go wherever you want. Like to be able to pick up and just pick a spot on the map and fly there first class or business class or whatever. If you can't afford that, go economy and just get to that place. It's just, it does so much. You meet new people, you understand different cultures, you can learn new languages, you see what else is out there in the world. And you can't do that just staying in your hometown of Spain or New Jersey, right? It just doesn't work. So I really think that travel has completely changed my life. I mean, especially if you're documenting it, what better way to make YouTubes than going places, right? All my best YouTubes were me in Monaco, Dubai, Europe, right? I've had viral videos just because of the locations I'm in and just living my life in that cool location. So I think traveling is amazing, but I lived on the road all throughout 2020 and 2021. I lived in hotels. I didn't even have a home. So that got tiring. So I think you need both. Like I love having a place to come home to. And it's almost like now I get more excited coming home than I do leaving to go travel. It's like a lot of people say this, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go on vacation. Then you go and then, 2 weeks later, you're like, I just want to go home. So you need both, right? I like having a place where I can absolutely dial in. I got my gym, I got my routine, I got everything, situated for my success. And then I can go out and travel and just come back and I know everything's good. But obviously that takes money and it's, it takes time to have a lifestyle built up like that.
Amazing. And for your network, it's so important too, because a lot of super interesting people in the US. How did you meet these people? Like, I don't know, Jordan, Luke, and a lot more people that you know.
We all pay to play, right? Like we all just spend money to get in rooms with people that have money. I mean, that's the easiest way. Like I don't go out.
You pay to play.
Yeah.
Amazing
I don't
sentence.
go out to network, dude. Like that's not a thing for me. It's like people either come to me or I go pay a lot of money to go to some very exclusive event and I meet other people that pay just as much money as me. That's the only way I do it now. I've met all of my friends that I have now at paid masterminds, every single one of them. And the only way I got close to them, because it's one thing to pay and go to a mastermind, but now how do you stand out? You have to offer massive value, right? For example, let's take Luke Belmar. It's like, he has a way bigger social presence than me. He has way more money than me. He has more knowledge in crypto than me. He's been in it longer. What can I give him? Why would he want to become friends with me? Well, I have a bigger network than him. I got people like Mark Moss. I have people like Gary Brecka, #1 biohacker in the world. I know Luke likes biohacking. There we go. That is my value that I can provide him. I said, hey, Luke, I'd love to introduce you to my network. I got some people I think you would want to meet. Dude, yeah, absolutely. Hook me up. Boom. Connected both of them. Got both of those guys to speak at Capital Club last year. That's all I needed to do. And Luke's had me on podcasts. We've done business deals together. We became good friends, right? So Same with Jordan Welch. It's like, how can I get closer to him? Oh, he's got a YouTube mastermind. Okay, 25K, cool. Join it. Now I was good friends with him before that. We met at Capital Club. We've been friends for like a year, but he understands the value proposition too. He's like, okay, Colin, is obviously a friend. He's starting up his YouTube. Let me help him on YouTube for 2 months for free. And then when I launch this mastermind, maybe he'll be my first client. And that's exactly what happened. He literally helped me for 2 months without a cent paid, spent all of his time, introduced me to his network, helped me with thumbnails, etc. And then, when it came time to launch his mastermind, he just politely brought it up. He already gave me so much love and so much value. I'm like, dude, of course. So it's all value. All relationships are value. If you can't figure out how to provide value and do it in a way that it's organic and natural, you're not going to have a network.
Yeah, that's amazing. But it's so different that the mentality in Europe, for example, to maybe pay your friend, it's something that it happens, but it's not used to. Like, maybe the friends are going to say, okay, but we are friends, so you have to do it for free. But I think that it's a wrong mentality. For example, in Spain, if I'm, 18 years old and I start my clothing brand and I invest some money to have my clothes, my friends are going to say, give me for free some t-shirts. And here in the US, it's going to say, okay, I'm going to buy the first stock to help you.
Yep.
So the mentality, it's that different.
Horrible mentality. Mm-hmm. You just have to, you can't go with that. You have to tell people like, dude, no, like I work my ass off to do this.
That's why I'm trying to do with the channel.
It's honestly incredible. It's a perfect tell on who's actually a real friend and who's not. If your friend's not going to invest in your business and buy your business and respect all your hard work and sacrifice that you made, he's not a good friend. All the people that bought my business that went to college with me and watched me do all this, they actually, the best ones that I'm actually still talking to that I'm friends with, they actually dropped their egos, became a student, bought from me and learned from me. And now we still talk today. Every other one that did the thing you said, bro, just come on, give me the free code. I don't talk to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're not doing well in life either.
Yeah, I think that it's important too to stop some relations with some people and keep growing.
You don't need those friends. There's new friends waiting for you at the next level. Mm-hmm. They're all there. Just waiting. They're better.
I remember that I saw a video about you that you're saying that with your friends, you have like a rule, the 33% rule. Yeah. Can you explain? I think it's amazing.
Yeah. So in life, you want to respect the rule of 33s. So 33% of your network should be people that you can bring up. You can help them, right? Give back to them. They're usually younger, right? Then you have 33% of your network that are on your level. They make the same amount of money in the same area. They have similar interests. They're around the same age. Great. These are your friends that you're hanging out with mostly. I go to the gym with these people, etc. Then you have 33% of people that are 20, 30 years above you. These are people worth 9 figures, billionaires. These are your mentors bringing you up. So it's this massive ladder of everyone just helping each other grow and grow and grow. What most people do is they only have friends on the under 33 to boost their egos. Right? They just get people that are lower than them. That makes them feel confident when they're around them, and it boosts their egos. And that's horrible, right? If you're in a room and everyone is not as smart as you, you're in the wrong room. I'm only in rooms with people that are smarter than me. I want to be the dumbest person in the room every single time.
Amazing, man. We are going to the end of the podcast. I don't know if you can share some advice for the audience that they are looking at that. What will be your last word?
Become the main character in your life. Don't watch all this content and see all these amazing influencers and, people that have all this massive success and think that you can't have it too. Like, I did that for so many years, and I used to want to be those people. I used to be like, I want to be Logan Paul. Like, I would give up everything to have that guy's life. And then slowly and surely I'd start to realize like how pathetic that is. Like, I have every capability to make my life whatever I want. Like, we all have opportunity in life. It doesn't matter if you're dealt a bad hand. You have to take full responsibility for your life. Everything is your fault. I know that sounds harsh, but the moment you actually accept that everything is your fault, you can then accept your current reality and then work to change it and create it however you want. So stop playing the victim game and understand that you can have all of this. You can have more than this. You could literally have whatever you want. So as long as you believe that and you just take action and be consistent every day, you can do it.
Colin, thank you very much for being in the channel.
Thank
it was
you,
a pleasure.
bro.
And I'm sure that people will really enjoy this interview.
Let's go. I appreciate it. I'm going to learn Spanish by the next
You
one.
have all to go to follow Colin. And thank you, man.
Adrian, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, boss.